good enough position you guys can all see. And we're hanging out. Yeah, let's turn this just a smidgen. All right. Thank you guys for coming through, although nobody's actually here yet. But this is my typical Wednesday stream. Where do I want to sit this today? You know what? I actually think right here would be pretty nice. Yeah. I don't actually have a specific place for it to go, so I just kind of put it wherever and whenever. So let me see if I can do a little something different this time. No, definitely better on this angle. Well, anyways, that's enough of that babbling. Anybody who hasn't come through here before, I'm Andrew Douglas Lane, aka Douglas Moon Fragrance. I'm a fragrance reviewer. Let me pop my hat backwards so you guys can actually see me a little bit better. But definitely going to be talking about fragrances today and pretty much the usual stuff, but you guys are more than welcome to come through and ask me questions. If you see my collection and you haven't been here before, please feel free to come hang out and shoot the breeze. But again, I'm Andrew, aka Douglas Moon, fragrance YouTuber, and I like to answer your questions and just hang out. So please feel free, if you have any questions about fragrances, to stop through and ask. I stream every Wednesday and I try to do every Sunday, but sometimes I do a little bit extra. Today in particular, as you can see by the title, I got all my dupes and Middle Eastern perfumery over here. I hate saying Middle Eastern perfumery, though, as if that always equates to dupes and clones, because it absolutely does not. For instance, over here is all my amouages. They are Middle Eastern, but let's see, Christopher, long live dupes. Christopher Price, thank you for stopping through. So the title of this video most definitely does not reflect that I think in and of themselves dupes are bad or that they just should not exist. It's just kind of to start the conversation about what you guys personally think about dupes and clones. I will be completely honest with you, just straight off of the gate. In and of itself, for the love of perfumery, I do think that perfumery, just like all art, has a place where for just general creativity and making something new and unique, the highest level perfumers definitely are someone who sits down and spends time expressing themselves by making a new fragrance profile. But as we already know, there are a lot of people out there who really want to have nice fragrances, but just necessarily speaking, can't afford to have the best of the best or like the most expensive of the expensive. So instead, the fact that there are options for a much cheaper price point, it's a wonderful thing. On the other hand, I will say dupes and clones and perfumery also creates a bit of a racket, because especially due to apps like TikTok, you have a lot of sponsored and funneled through paid creators sending things to people, like pushing things on people, so that you end up feeling like you need to have like a lot, as you see here, instead of just still collecting something meaningful. If you spend, $500 on dupes and clones, it doesn't really help you if you could have just spent and gotten a few really good fragrances that are on the higher price point, but have more depth to them. So it kind of goes in every direction. But again, just for anybody, don't let the title throw you off in the sense that that's all we're going to talk about. It's not. I'm Douglas Moon. This is my fragrance channel where I discuss with you guys during these live streams whatever you'd like to talk about. If you got questions, as always, if there's any fragrances I personally haven't tried or don't know about, I will answer that and be honest. I'm not going to put anything on you or push anything in you guys' direction if I don't haven't tested it myself and think it's decent. But yeah, I've been thinking a lot about dupes lately. I think they are getting better, to be honest, and I feel a little cussed. The normal consumer is insane to pay a car payment for fragrances, so I definitely agree with you, Christopher. I myself feel the same way, because again, it's mostly, I am a fragrance content creator, but I'm harsh on them. What you think to Creed? Real quick, I'll answer that. Again, to anybody who hasn't been here before, I do the best I can to stay with the comments and answer you guys if I can. Amouages are definitely incredible. I have 10 amouages at the moment. I did have another one that I gave away as a gift to somebody because they really were interested in the scent profile, and it wasn't for me. Amouage is not my favorite fragrance house. That would be Xerjoff and Jean Paul Gaultier, necessarily speaking, but Amouage makes incredible, strong Middle Eastern perfumery, and I highly recommend them if you can, but they are on the higher price point. As far as GT floppy disk, that's a fun name. I actually forgot floppy disks ever existed. As far as Creed is concerned, I don't really push them on people. I have Silver Mountain Water as a full bottle. It's the only Creed that I have left in my collection, and it's mostly because I enjoy the fragrance, although Club de Nuit Sillage did an incredible job doing their own take on it. Naturally, it's more synthetic scented in and of itself, but it's still a perfect take and has good performance, and just like they're Untold compared to Baccarat Rouge, which I have. Excuse me, but I will say Creed is one of those overhyped fragrance companies at this point. They are fantastic in the sense that the creators and perfumers there once were innovative, like the Creed Aventus DNA, stuff like that. used to be distinct at the time, but they're very old fragrances. And at this point, there's been so much done, like beaten to death those DNAs. So Creed has reformulated, and they're not the best performers in the entire world for the price that you pay. So you'll hear me say that a lot. I'm a simple Azuro Chrome. Hey, there's nothing wrong with that. Hey, what's up, Ronald? Ronald from McDonald's. Happy to see you here, buddy. But what do you think of the Club de Nuit extract compared to reformulated Aventus? So I have not personally tried the Club de Nuit extract. I'm not sure what, I haven't seen that one myself. I've got the Club de Nuit Parfum, the pure Parfum. There's also a limited edition Parfum, but I don't have. I've tried that one. Don't like it. I prefer the actual pure Parfum edition. I've not tried extract if you mean something different, or if you mean extract de Parfum, which this one is. Then in that case, I actually really like this one. I will say, if you're looking for something in comparison to Absolute, there's, oh, wait a minute. You know what? You must be talking about Precious. If you're talking about Precious, then I haven't tried that one. So I've heard it's really good. You don't, unfortunately, get very much for the price that you pay, but you get a really small bottle. But this actually is pretty nice. This is Supremacy Collector's Edition. And I have to say, for the apple notes that it adds to the overall scent profile, it's not like it's like a super duper monster or anything. In reality, even though a lot of creators want to convince you guys that dupes and clones are always monsters, very rarely are they actually like massive performers. But the same thing happens with designers and niche at times too. This one's not going to like blast you, but then again, Creed Aventus Absolute in and of itself is kind of overpriced for sure, and not the best choice in the world. But if you want something in that vein, definitely Supremacy's Collector's Edition, the Afnan, is something I highly recommend if you just kind of want to go down that route. It is different. It adds a little twist. Supremacy is dope. Absolutely. Million is still popular. Talking rocket science to me. I'm a normie. Oh, definitely. Extract. Oh, no. And by the way, I am a fast talker and can go all over the place. That's when I do these streams and hang out with you guys. If you're new here, I try to do them every Wednesday and Sundays as well, if possible. Sometimes more, depending on the circumstances with my work schedule and family. But with that being said, I'm nobody special. So even if I talk really fast or maybe seem like correcting or something at times, I mean no offense. And you guys are, please feel welcome to ask anything you want. I will tell you if there's something I don't know. I'll be straight up about it. I don't want to lie to you guys, but just letting it be known. Please feel free to say. And if I ask you, just like to, so that I can understand, it's no offense to you. But with that being said, thank you for being here. Thoughts on Versace EDP? I'll get right back to that. But if you're talking about 1 million, I'm not sure if you're asking about that, but definitely right here, floppy disk. I do like 1 million gold. I like the original. And then as well, this one is really, really nice. The 1 million elixir. People say it's overpriced, or it's not overpriced. People say it's overplayed. But to be honest with you, it's youthful. It's powerful. Lasts all day. I still enjoy it. Thoughts? The big thing I'll say is real quick, don't be an elitist when it comes to fragrance. That's what I try to say. For the best that you can do, enjoy fragrances as they are. And whatever speaks to you, whatever feels good, please do that. I think that I see too many situations where people are either way too into dupes, which is, again, if you can just spend like way too much money collecting as many dupes as you can, that's not nearly as substantial as just having a handful of fragrances you really love, regardless of the price. But on the flip side, being an elitist about fragrances and saying something's like talked about, overrated, maybe that's your opinion, but it doesn't mean that's the case for everybody. Good morning, HSS. Thank you for being here. As far as King Harsh goes, I'm sorry that it took so long to get back to you, but I think that Eros Eau de Parfum is good. It's actually the second best in the line to me after the straight up Parfum edition. So I have multiple bottles of Eros Parfum. To me personally, it is the best concentration, not just because it's the highest concentration of fragrance oils, but the overall composition of the scent profile is drastically different than the Eau de Toilette. But for me personally, this one's just the one that I seriously love, the Parfum edition. But the EDP is really nice if you want to save a little bit of money. And in general, the scent profile is fantastic. What's the best cologne to have women gravitate to your smell on a budget? On a budget? Just throwing this out there again. Every woman's different, just like every man. So knowing specifically, like, if you ever see YouTube and creators tell you this fragrance or this fragrance is going to get you the most compliments, they're lying, because it doesn't really work that way in the real world. Nobody can just tell that. But I will say this. Fragrances that tend to do the best can range. If you're talking about something on a budget, if you want budget, then I would say something like Hod Lodge's Island Vanilla Dunes, or the original Island edition, something like that. Because if you want something budget, then those are like Altair or La Beau de Parfum, as well Shiaka by Hod Lodge. It's a really good take on Reflections Man by Amouage. Has that nice iris feel. As always, if you've had exposure to like more luxurious level, more expensive end quality material fragrances, you will be able to notice there's something just a little bit missing from the composition of these dupes. But for what they are and their price point, those are perfect choices that people are like find more mass appealing. So if you don't mind spending a little bit extra, just a little bit more than those price points, I would say get something like Eros Parfum. I would say get something like Eros Flame, Dolce & Gabbana Light Blue, the Capri and Love edition that just came out, the Eau Intense. These are fantastic. If you don't mind going up a little bit more, you can get a good sized bottle of Jean Paul Gaultier's Le Male Elixir or Le Male Parfum for like a little bit over $100. So it doesn't hurt to save a little bit more and have something fantastic and strong in your collection that people do like. I can see Club de Nuit Intense Man. Is it any good? So I used to personally not be a big fan of Club de Nuit Intense Man, to be honest with you. When I very first got my nose on it, that was back at the origins of my fragrance journey personally. So I wasn't too huge on it because I will say people complain about at times maybe it having a little too much of a limited pledge type of feel to it. But again, that's before you can identify notes. But I will say if some people feel that way, that might mean other people around you feel that way too. But I have had compliments for this one. It's not extremely often, but it has happened. So this is the Parfum edition. I like it. My wife as well has grown to really love it too. But when I say that, I do mean that at first exposure, we both weren't too big on it overall. So woodsy, lemony feel is definitely what you get for this, and it's just hit or miss. But I guess that's kind of the same with most fragrances. I'm comfortable spending up to $150. Okay, 150. Oh wait, let me see what you said. Axe Chocolate is the way to go. Hey, Axe Chocolate's not a bad fragrance, to be honest with you. I forgot the name. Boss Cologne was in the red bottle. I'm brain farting right now myself. I just know Boss Bottle Absolute, the Elixir, and so forth. And there's a new one, Night, as well. Those are fantastic choices for you guys to go for as well. What's up, JJ? Good morning, buddy. So Marley, Jamaica, you say you're comfortable spending $150. If that's the case, then I'm going to definitely steer you towards one of these guys right here, because these are fantastic fragrances. So if not Versace Eros Parfum, if not Versace Flame or Energy, definitely Jean Paul Gaultier's Le Male Le Parfum. Fantastic choice. This, I believe, full price. This is a 4.2 bottle, so this is pretty decent size. I think this is like 130, something like that, 140 bucks. And this one as well, this is the Jean Paul Gaultier's Le Beau Paradise Garden. So what you get here is you get iris, you get lavender, and then as well you get a beautiful like cream vanilla type of feel going on underneath it. But the iris is amazing. Very similar to the iris, obviously. Like, iris is very noticeable. So if you have Reflections Man by Amouage, much more expensive, kind of get that feeling. On the other hand, right here, this is Paradise Garden Le Beau, and this is fantastic, especially for it's $142 in US dollars. Don't know where you're from. But this is coconut water, but it doesn't smell cheap or anything like that. It's fantastic. Coconut water with aquatic notes, and then you also get sandalwood. So powerful, lasts all day. This one lasts all day, but it's more subtle to the skin. This one has really good sillage, really good performance overall. So for the $100 to $142 range, something like that, these are good choices as well if you're looking for something along those lines. And again, to anybody who's stopping through, please don't let the title of my videos like detract you or make you think this is like some type of controversial or debate type of thing. I love all fragrances, and I have my thoughts about different things, but you guys are more than welcome as well. And I will try to keep up with you guys' conversations. I got Tom Ford as a gift, but I don't like the smell. It definitely, like JJ said, please let us know which Tom Ford you got, because to be honest with you, Tom Fords can be very all over the place for most people. Sort of like this one right here, okay? This is Tom Ford. This is a new release from this past year. Forgive me. Similar in bottle style and similar in shape to Tom Ford's Costa Azura. Sorry if you heard that vibration, by the way. My phone was just getting a notification. But this is the Bois Pacifique or Bois Pacifique by Tom Ford. And this is one of those fragrance notes that's very strong, woody accord type of deal going on. Very much like meant to be sort of make you think of woods at the beach by the ocean type of feel. But it's very classic. Smells like a wealthy, like business owner, like in a high rise somewhere in 1980s, something along those lines. So if you get something like this as a gift, it is something that you can cherish. It's very strong and lasts very well, but it's also a little too mature for a lot of people, maybe too powdery, woodsy, and old smelling. So some Tom Fords are very hard to offer to people because just their overall fragrance profile is not for everyone, especially necessarily speaking younger men. So something like ombre leather parfum might be a little more friendly for a lot of people because of the sweetness and the sandalwood going on. But most Tom Fords, super not safe to offer to most folks. But anyway, thank you guys for stopping through. I always appreciate anybody who's willing to come through, hang out, listen to me babble and talk forever. It means a lot to me. I appreciate every single one of you guys, and I mean that with all my heart. So anybody who's willing to come through, wants to ask questions, that's what I'm here for. Not a professional, just love perfumery, and I love to help you out if I can. As well, I'm happy to get you guys suggestions if you have any questions as well. This one has been speaking to me a lot lately, though. I don't normally go grabbing for the dupes and cheapies. Again, there's nothing necessarily wrong with them, but I already have my personal core fragrances from long before I started getting dupes. Hit the like button. I appreciate you supporting it. Yeah, Tom Ford's getting to the niche world. Yeah, I think of the same thing. Tom Ford, to me, will always be a designer fragrance company. It's just because, again, when you think designer, a lot of times that concept of what makes a designer is the fact that they are not just a fragrance maker, they are also making mass appealing fragrances, normally because they are a fashion designer house. So in comparison to niche, when you have a fashion designer house like Tom Ford definitely is, you kind of expect them to be making stuff that's more appealing. I'll give Tom Ford as a fragrance house credit because for a very long time, they have made fragrances that kind of appeal to everybody. But when you got things like Tobacco Vanille, but then Lost Cherry, Ebon Fume, which I have, Oud Wood, stuff like that, versus Noir Extreme. These are things that kind of go all over the map where they could be seen as mass appealing, but then Neroli Portofino, Soleil Blanc, these are fragrances as well that are very much for everybody. So for me personally, would you recommend Eros Energy for high heat? T, thank you for stopping by and asking questions. 100% would recommend Eros Energy. I got that back there and I did a review on that, I think 2 months ago. Something like that. If you guys are willing to go check it out, show some love. If not, thank you for being here. But Eros Energy is actually a really good performer. Most Eroses are. The original Eros Eau de Toilette is a little bit like can dissipate after a handful of hours, of course, due to the higher alcohol content. But the rest of them are Eau de Parfums, which Eros Energy is. And for the price that you pay, which on discounters, it's like $80 for a 3.4 or 100 ml. Or if you get it full price in the store, I think it's about 110. So it's a really good price for what you get out of it. And it's that lemon, like lemon candy, lemon drop, very sweetness, but not cheap. That's what I like about it. They made it very lemon candy-like without making it seem cheap or coming off as something that would be off-putting. So it's youthful, and yet an older person, because of also the woodsy feel going on underneath it, like somebody in their 30s, 40s, 50s, and so forth, could still enjoy it and appreciate it for the summertime. And it lasts very well. My favorite, original Lacoste tall bottle. I can't find it. Marshalls over the years. Why is that? I can't find it, but it didn't stay long. I'm not entirely sure why that is, because to be honest with you, so, by the way, do I have any Game of Spades? Thank you for asking, Jeff. I do not have any Game of Spades. They are on my list, just like Mind Games and a handful of other houses. Argos, right now, Maison Crivelli, Argos, Mind Games, and then Game of Spades are the houses that are on my kind of target list. It's going to be a little while before I start buying any more fragrances because, as you can probably see, even though these are the same ones during my live streams that I have to pick through and talk about a lot, in and of itself, I do like single fragrance at a time review videos, and there's a lot of these that I've never personally actually went through. So just throwing it out there. Is your profile pic Alexander, or is that what you're saying? My profile pic? I'm not sure if that's what you're asking, but that's me and my wife. So my profile picture here on YouTube is me and my wife during our wedding. I had hair at that point. Also, I was 30 pounds lighter than I am right now. Got me a belly on me because we've eaten a lot of good food. But if that's what you're asking, my profile pic, no, that's me and my wife. But as far as Lacoste goes, it really just depends for the most part, to be honest with you. Fragrances like that, especially when they start being sold at places like Costco or Marshall, Sam's Club, whatever, TJ Maxx. These are fragrances that have kind of fallen out of like style and fashion, necessarily speaking, and they're a little bit more like cheaper end, and they're just kind of fading out. So sometimes you can get your hands on them, sometimes not so much, but I hope the best for you. But let me see here real quick. I have the Clone Monkey Special, Paris Corner, Mysterium. How is that, Jeff? I never smelled that myself. He means the pic has here in the chat. Oh, I am so sorry. Okay. Hey, buddy, what's up, you, Raj? Okay, the pic here in the chat, if you're talking about the one I chose for the video, that's just a doofy photo that I found. A lot of the times, Oh, you're welcome, Yuvraj. By the way, if any of you guys ever find me on Instagram, the Douglas Moon Fragrance page, I'm not the best at keeping up with everybody because I got a lot going on with my wife, my family, and stuff, and her business as well. But I do like to message you guys. And as you can see, I'm a talker. So if you guys message me and we do communicate, be prepared because I'm probably going to send you a voice message instead of typing. You might not know this because you don't. I've never said it before, but I got arthritis. So sending messages and typing is not really my thing. I'm getting old, you guys. But Yuvraj, super happy to see you, buddy. Let's see here. Club de Nuit, my favorite perfume. That's awesome. I'm glad you like Club de Nuit. Which one do you like, though? Because there's a handful of different ones. But Jeff, definitely want to know how that Special Monkey is, because I personally didn't even know that there was a Special Monkey dupe. Also, it's really funny because Special Monkey's not on the bottle. And when I've said Special Monkey a bunch of times, I've had people think I'm like, what is wrong with you? And I'm like, no, I promise you, that's what it's technically called. Tony Iommi Special Monkey. But anyway, I don't like it, but it's okay. 8 to 10 hours, but never smelled the original. Interesting. I definitely would like to get my nose on it and see what it's all about. But yeah, this guy right here, somebody told me the other day what this means. Mad al-Dahab. I really like this one, though. This is one of those few. This is Arabiat Prestige. I don't have anything else by this fragrance house. They make cheaper fragrances. They're Middle Eastern. When I say that, please, again, if you're from the Middle East, I mean absolutely no disrespect. On my dad's side of the family, got a massive amount of Middle Eastern ancestry and heritage. So much appreciation for perfumery being started basically in those regions and in India and so forth. But these days, it's no secret that other than certain companies like, again, Amouage and the like, a lot of Middle Eastern perfumery is cheaper priced, especially depending on where you live in the world. A lot of stuff is pumping out of the United Arab Emirates. So when I say cheaper fragrances and Middle Eastern perfumery, I don't mean any disrespect. It's just, that's kind of the way it is in the industry for the most part. The passion fruit note is strong. What deodorant do you use? Mine masks the smell of fragrance sometimes. So Guru, I shouldn't use this because of my eczema, but I personally tend to use like Old Spice, Apple Orchard, stuff like that. Just something simple and quick to keep me from being too sweaty, which, just a fun fact, doesn't seem to work for me because I'm a sweaty boy. I'm a sweaty little pig. But regretting, chose commercial studies upon science. I really regret. That's so are you in college right now, Yuvraj? But I definitely, by the way, saw those things you sent me with the motorcycle. That was really cool. To Jeff, talking about the passion fruit note. That's interesting because what you really get a lot, what you get the most strong, those types of fruit molecule notes are underneath it. But when you smell the original, it very much has a mildly fruit infused, but mostly caramel cocoa blend at the top, like a bitter chocolate type of blend is what you get a lot at the top with this, with like a sweetened caramel, with then fruit notes at the bottom. The more this stays on someone, the Special Monkey, especially like my daughter likes to wear this whenever she's here. And when it comes off of her, definitely it's very strong and it lasts all day, bleeds off of people. But the scent profile 100% kind of carries that sweet caramel, delicious feel. As I said yesterday, though, I fell in love very much so with the, I don't remember what it's called, but there's a Mind Games fragrance, very expensive. I think it's like $340 for a bottle, but it is a strong caramel note to it. And I don't normally like that too much. Even food, I don't really like caramel, but this one was incredible. And I can't wait to get to the Discovery set. Kickboxing? Hey, that's cool. That's really cool. Useless BCom degree. HSS, do you train MMA? I like that you guys are getting the chance to shoot the breeze. It makes me happy. As I always say, when you guys come through here, please feel free to talk with each other. I think you are like Monkey Special. Oh, I've got Monkey Special already, definitely. So that's what I was just talking about in case you didn't see it. Good tea or aquatic fragrances? Ooh, that's a really nice question. Aquatic fragrances are nice. I really like tea fragrances, things that have a tea feel to them, like Moschino Toy Boy. It doesn't have necessarily a tea note, but I hate the bottle. Cannot stress enough. Do not like the bottle. But this is one of the best fragrances I've come across in a long time, especially for a cheaper fragrance. And this bad boy right here is pear with cucumber water, and then as well rose. It's a man's fragrance, but I know the notes don't sound that way to a lot of people, but it's very powerful, and it has like a cucumber-y tea type of feel to it. That's actually why, where's it at? Club de Nuit Sillage, which is a take on, you can't see it, but behind here, I've got the bottle of Creed Silver Mountain Water. If you want to see it, I'll show you. I don't know why. Sometimes when I bring up fragrances and I don't show you the bottle, I feel like somebody's going to be like, you don't really have it. I do know why. That actually happened twice during a stream before. And I'm like, okay, I guess I'll show you. That's weird. But those have a tea note to them along with melon. So tea notes in something really bring me joy. As a matter of fact, to be honest with you, bergamot is what's used to be the primary note and fragrant profile for Earl Grey tea, which is my personal favorite tea. And that, to me, bergamot in and of itself kind of carries a tea note profile. With that great collection, thank you, Perfumes for Dummies. Just found my channel. Well, hey, just real quick, just asking. I don't really sit around watching too much fragrance content myself, but I do like to support people. So I don't know if you also are a fragrance reviewer or if your name's that just because you like fragrances. But if it is, please definitely want to recommend people go check them out. And thank you for being here. I have both Vulcan fragrances. I love Vulcan Few. Well, I have Royal Enfield Bullet. I don't know what that is, but I'm very happy you're here, Yuvraj. I'm solving my maths. I suck at math, so that's really crazy that you're able to do maths and watch my live at the same time. Super happy. I'm here to cheer you on. Everybody cheer on Yuvraj over there doing his maths. I have 8 fragrances, and the only one that got me compliments is Valentino Born in Roma. Yeah, see, that's the thing. Real quick, I will touch on these. So Jeff, I believe it was, says you've got the Vulcans. And so I will say, again, I hate on these a lot in the sense, not to be controversial, just being honest. They're not monster bombs like a lot of people push on them. But I'm just saying that because I want people to understand when you see people saying these fragrances are like the most explosive fragrances ever, and then you go out of your way to buy them, especially because these are not the cheapest ones either. These are like in the $50 range and stuff. Which you could save a little bit more money and get something else. I just have to encourage people when it comes to stuff like that, don't expect what people tell you when they are pushing these things on you when they're like sponsored by it. On the other hand, I like Sable more, but the scent profile in and of itself, that gingery mango type of thing for this, it's not bad. It's just not my personal style. If you love it though, that's awesome. It's perfectly fantastic. Yeah, algebra sucks and trigonometry is not easy. Hey, listen, I'm not good at any of it, to be honest with you. I have 8 fragrances. So Born in Roma is a nice fragrance profile. I prefer, of all of the Valentino fragrances, to be honest with you, this one's my personal favorite next to Coral Fantasy. I like to get a bottle of Coral Fantasy. This is going to sound stupid, but I'm a little sissy boy when it comes to purchasing eau de toilettes at this point. The only one I even have in my whole collection is literally behind this, the original Dolce & Gabbana Light Blue, because that's a classic for me. But I'm a little wussy boy when it comes to spending money for eau de toilettes because I want to allocate my money wisely, necessarily speaking. But I will say when it comes down to it, I'd like to get myself a bottle of Coral Fantasy. But this one, what is the best Althea dupe? Ooh, I can't wait to tell you that in just a second. Bro, you know Francisco Lachowski? I do not. I paid $50 for Vulcan Sable, $70 for Vulcan Few? Oh my goodness gracious, buddy. I'm sorry that you did that. Then again, it has been really hard for people to get their hands on it. So it's not easy to get compliments. You have to be very friendly, easy to talk to. Absolutely. I mean, to be honest with you, even people like me, right? I'm not the most handsome dude in the world, especially since I've gained some weight. I got a shaved head, which again is just for my eczema. But as it is, like with the tattoos and junk, I don't want to look tough. I guess it's just how some people perceive it sometimes. So people think like I've been to prison. So somebody like me walking around the street, it's not very often that actually people, even if I smell like really awesome, it's very rare that certain folks even come up and compliment me. Maybe they'll do it a lot more for you. But to a lot of people, I don't look like I have a very pleasant demeanor, even though I try to smile as often as I can. But I will say for you guys, you might get complimented more. Who really knows? But in and of itself, people don't just come up to everybody a lot and just start giving you compliments. So try not to expect that too much. As far as Althea dupes go, I'm going to show you guys that these are really the 3 main ones, but they're all fantastic for different reasons. This one, again, I've really found an analogy I like to use, whereas Liquid Brune is like a very sweetened frappe, not like the scent. I mean, like if you was to think about coffee, this is the one where the young person likes to put a lot of sugar in it, make it excessively sweet. But it's powerful. This is the one that has a little bit more of a floral musk behind it and is more dead on, closer to the original Althea, but as well, very powerful, has good lasting power. And that's Hodlodge's Vanilla Dunes. So I will say my wife prefers Vanilla Dunes, but these guys sent me Eagle Star from Sensual Obsessions. So that's Sentual. You think I could spell that without looking at it, but they're based out of Florida. and it's called Eagle Star. And this is the only company that's ever actually sent me anything for free. So I was wary about like giving it, like, you know, I'm not going to lie to them or to you guys if it's not that good. But I got my nose on it, and it's an extrait de parfum. And I think this is a 30 mil for $45, something like that. But super high concentration. And to be honest with you, they knocked it out of the park. So I would actually steer people between either getting Eagle Star by Sensual Obsessions or getting Hod Lodge's Vanilla Dunes, if you want an Altair take. As always, definitely got to show off these guys' atomizer. It's a very fantastic blast, and I love it. So if you're looking for an Altair dupe, definitely going to send you in those directions. So again, Eagle Star by Sensual Obsessions, super powerful, and just like Vanilla Dunes, last all day. So I honestly like all three of them more than the original Altair at this point, just because of the price ranges. Thank you for answering. Hey, no problem, dude. Real quick, thanks, man. I tried doing content, but not for me, and have a decent collection. That's awesome. Serkan, thank you so much for being here, buddy. I'm trying to keep up with you guys as much as I can. Thurston Jackson, Versace Eros clone. I actually don't know. So as always, I don't answer questions. I tell you guys and answer, but I won't lie to you. So I've never tried any Eros clones myself. I've only liked the originals and have them back there. But I just don't want to push anything in you guys' directions or make up anything. So sorry that I can't help you out, but maybe somebody in the comments will. As always, if you guys are watching my stream, I want to make this a community. It's not just about me. It's about fragrances and about y'all. It might be the Douglas Moon Fragrance channel, but I don't know why I was over here. It might be the Douglas Moon Fragrance channel, but this is about everybody who's a part of this. So I thank you guys. If you guys see a comment and I say that I don't know, please have no hesitation to help each other out. I really encourage that. Did you read my comment? Actually, I went to drink water for a while. Ooh, I might not have seen it, buddy. Please, if you can, re-comment. Don't spam me, you guys. No, you already know this. Don't spam me, you guys. But if I ever don't get to you, please be more than comfortable to retype your comment so that I can try to see it. But Delsa, thank you so much for being here. Friendly Fire actually used to be the name of my band back in high school. Me and my buddies had a little band called Friendly Fire, and so that's pretty cool to see. I was just literally thinking about that stuff earlier today before I came here to start doing my stream. But by the way, how about your legs? Thank you, Yuvraj, for always caring about if I'm doing good from standing up for so long. I'm actually feeling really awesome today. Feeling great. But yeah, as you guys can see, like I said, the only thing I really want to touch on, if you guys want to ask any questions, please feel free to do so while I'm about to say the stuff I'm about to say. But the only reason that I kind of have anything negative to say about dupes and clones is just because of the fact that, like I said, they have their place, especially, you know, for people who don't have a lot of money to spare, necessarily speaking, and you just want to get that fragrance that you really like and you want something close to it. But in and of itself, just artistry wise, just imagine you're in a band, you spend a lot of time and energy making an album and putting your work out, putting your heart and soul into a song, lyrics wise, music wise, and everything. And then 15 other bands come out in the same area as you, in the same market as you, and they're not just doing the same style of music you're doing, but they're also sitting here like taking away necessarily from people watching you or coming to you guys to show, which is the only way you make money. So again, I'm not trying to push you guys away from like doing what you can, but the perfumers, especially in niche houses and stuff who are smaller houses, the perfumers put a lot of time and energy, and some of the times it can take like 2 to 3 years for them to make a single fragrance because they put a lot of effort and creativity into making what they can. And so with that being said, after they put all that time into making something and building something incredible and creative and putting it out there, weeks later, you know, like cheaper fragrance houses from the Middle East or wherever, from France, come out and go, hey, we just smelled what you made, and then we just completely stole your DNA and we're just selling it for a fraction of the price now. But the reason why the original perfumer charged what they did in a lot of cases, except for designer houses, is because they need to be paid. Marketing, safety regulations as well, and their safety checks in the countries they're made need to be paid for the work that they've done. And so to me personally, that's my only qualm with dupes, is I understand they have a place and I do respect them for that as well. But the thing I don't like about dupes right now especially is that an incredible amount of people these days on social media, what in the world? Who is trying to call me? Freaking spam call. Sorry, you guys. But anyway, the thing I can't stand today is that an incredible amount of people are pushing dupes upon dupes upon dupes. And instead of you guys just going, hey, I need to save money, but I really want vanilla, like an Altair dupe or a La Bola Parfum dupe or something like that, or I got a Fire dupe, and you just have 3 fragrances, you guys are like impulsively and addictively buying 50 of these guys just because they seem cheap up front. But next thing you know, you spent way too much money and you don't even really wear them all. So that's my only real issue, is just spend responsibly if you can. Which is better? And by the way, I'm not going to apologize for ranting because it's just what I do. But can you do a minute review of Versace Eros Flame? I would love to do that. I'll do it for you in just a second, King Sword. Which Hod Lodge is better, Island or Vanilla Dunes? HSS. They are entirely different. So this one is definitely a La Bola Parfum dupe, and it is coconut with sweet pineapple-y woods going on, where very bright, very dense. Whereas this one is the Altair, so it's vanilla pod with the cream and a little bit of orange blossom. If I had to choose personally, just profile-wise, I prefer Vanilla Dunes because I'm much more of a gourmand type of guy, a creamy vanilla type of person. But this one is still fantastic. But I just wear this one a lot more often if I was going to do so. But yeah, so I totally tend to go towards Vanilla Dunes, but they're completely different in overall. But with that being said, Bo, do anybody know about me in your family? My wife does. So yeah, she definitely, when we're talking about the people from the streams, we talk about you all the time. And I saw you sent me a poem the other day, by the way. I just haven't been able to get to actually reading it because there's been a lot going on. So King Sword, you want me to talk about Versace Eros Versace Eros Flame. So Versace Eros Flame, for anybody who doesn't know, for the base of it, for the most part, has a very similar composition that the original Eros Parfum or Eau de Parfum has. So the original has like a very woodsy, creamy, vanilla-y type of infused with bergamot, whereas this one's difference, on the opening notes especially, is very strong blood orange, but not in like a yucky way. So this one, I'm wearing this today, to be honest with you. And I love this fragrance because the blood orange, as it comes off, is a little bit bright, citrusy, and sharp at first. After a little bit, it dries down, and this becomes an incredible, incredible symphony of like a luxurious orange creamsicle type of feel, but not cheap. It's very velvety. Imagine the vanilla pod orange blossom feel that you get from Altair, but with a little more actual citrus orange to it, riding over velvety cream woods. That's kind of what you get a lot for Versace's Eros Flame. I love this one. I'm actually going to do one little spray on my hand. I usually put them, I don't know if you guys are curious. If anybody ever stops here and you haven't seen before my spray routine and you want to know how to do that, please feel free to ask. Oh, but this is absolutely fantastic. Like I said, it's bright blood orange at the top. So not like, when you open an actual orange when you're out to eat. It's a little bit different, but good boozy fragrance. Oh, you're asking about a good boozy fragrance. Nice. Blood orange and vanilla sounds nice. It is. It's amazing. I send you a poem about Sauvage. Ooh, I definitely can't wait to read it, buddy. Again, if anybody ever wants to communicate, more than welcome to find me on Instagram, shoot the breeze with me whenever I get the chance. But good boozy fragrance. So I personally, if people ask about a boozy fragrance, am often going to go towards things like Initio Side Effect, or, again, now you didn't say how much money, so if you're asking about money, I'm going to go ahead and throw this out there. If it doesn't really matter, if cost is no issue. Initio Side Effect is an absolutely incredible rummy type of fragrance with some tobacco sweetness, very bright, very strong on that spiced rum feel. This one as well carries like a rummy whiskey type of feel, but with sweetness and cinnamon aspects to it. Very Christmassy type of fragrance. This is Maison Francis Kirkjohn's Grand Soir. A lot of people probably already know about this. Again, these are not necessarily cheap at all, but they are powerful. They both last extremely well in comparison to a lot of other fragrances in the world. So Grand Soir by Maison Francis Kirkjohn, or as well, definitely going to take you down the old Initio Side Effect direction. Fantastic. Funny to hear about your old band, Rock On. Hey, thank you. Yeah, absolutely. Friendly Fire, like I said, was what the band I had a very long time ago was called, but it's been a while, so I haven't done music in a long time. But afternoon swimming. Jason, I'm assuming Jason Blossom, thanks for coming through. I'm guessing you're asking about Louis Vuitton afternoon swim. So personally for me, or you're talking about the fact that I'm wearing swimmy trunks, which is because I'm lazy on my days off. But Louis Vuitton fragrances, I was getting bombarded last night's stream about Louis Vuitton fragrances, people asking what I think. So I'm just going to go ahead and say this again. Decent enough, but very basic fragrances, very expensive. So to me, overrated. A lot of people pushing Louis Vuittons. Just want to throw this out there. They're not for me. It's okay if they're for you, though, because, again, fragrance is subjective. So while I will tell you whether I like something or not, if it was made well, doesn't change the fact. So, for instance, I'll say this. Something like Dia by Amouage. This was made exceptionally well. It's a very incredible fragrance, but I don't like it. It's not for me. So just throwing it out there. Ombre Nomad, now that you bring that up, I keep forgetting about that. Compared to Pacific Chill and all those, Imagination, I will say Ombre Nomad is actually a decent fragrance. It's still very expensive, and there's other ones in the same vein of it that I would probably steer people necessarily towards. But if I had to choose a Louis Vuitton fragrance, I would go for Ombre Nomad. But the rest of them, not so much. Creed Invictus? Hold on real quick. What about Nautica Pure Blue? I would say, for me personally, it's a bit on the like synthetic-y cheap side, but again, that's kind of like what you're paying for at the end of the day. It's nice, very classic, very basic type of fragrance. It's not my style, but there's absolutely nothing wrong if you want to wear it. It's more something I could support people going for because it's on a cheaper price range if you just want to give it a shot. What do you think of Tarathi Blue? Is it close to Tiger? By the way, Verizon, thanks for stopping by. So Creed and Invictus, unless there is an Invictus by Creed I don't know about. If you're talking about Invictus by Paco Rabanne or Creed Aventus, maybe is what you meant to say. Don't really care for Creeds. They are nice enough smells, very like unique at the time when they were first done. But Milsom Imperial, fantastic. Silver Mountain Water, I do like it. But for the most part, they're not very good performers for the price that you pay. What do you think about? So I haven't tried Tarathi Blue. That's one that was on my list of things to get. I've heard it's really nice. Buddy of mine, I think Redbeard or somebody else, a handful of my buddies who come through here a lot have said that Tarathi Blue is a pretty good fragrance, but again, I haven't tried it, so I don't want to speak on things I've never given a shot to before. I also have never tried any Dunhill fragrances, so like I said, if I've never tried something, I don't want to tell you guys and come off as a liar. But I will say, if anybody in my chat has any, again, I want to reiterate this, if you're new here, if you see a comment and I say I don't know about that fragrance, but you do, you've got experience with it, please feel free to give people your thoughts. What do you think about Lattafa Honor and Glory as summer fragrances? Oh, wait a minute, hold on. I want to get back to this on with Hamra Kawa or Royal Blend versus Royal Blend Nero. Which one should I pick? So I've got Royal Blend Nero right here, and then Kawa, right here. Personally speaking, I actually really like, sorry for touching the microphone. Wow, they got the cap on here tight. Of all of the Lattafas, by the way, this one, all of Lattafa Hamras, this one's my personal favorite, the Kawa. I like the Royal Blend Nero, but I do have to say that it's not my personal favorite. It's very strong. It's very decent and long lasting. But if I had to go, I would probably steer you towards Lattafa Hamra Kawa. And I also want to say this really fast. If anybody's been interested in getting the new Dukan, I think that's how you say it. If not, I'm sorry. But the new Hamra Dukan, please don't. It has, only thing about it that's different is the opening, because they added the pimento and so forth. The only thing truly different about the new Dukan by Hamra by Lattafa is just it has a different opening, but then it dries down to pretty much the same as the original. Whereas the Kawa at least has some distinctness to it that I really, really love. With that being said, let me go back and try to keep up with you guys. Sorry if I missed y'all's comments. Sumi, you said, would you rate your favorite Xerjoff fragrances from the Join the Club collection? I would love to do that, although I don't have too many, honestly, from the Join the Club collection. Let me see which ones I got. Honest to goodness, I've only got 2. I've smelled the Dawn before. It's very nice, but that would be the least for me. For me personally, 40 Knots is my absolute favorite. Right underneath, there's More Than Words. I love it. It's got just, it's a beautiful... beautiful compositional fragrance for me personally. I don't wear it as much as I should, but with summertime being here, I totally am. 40 Knots is in my top 5 favorite fragrances of all time. So definitely very perfect. If you want an aquatic scent, I don't recommend this for people very often, only because it's not for everyone. But if you're looking for a true to the blue, wow, it's stupid, a true to the core oceanic feel with like an almost hint of chlorine to it, that very sea salt feel. 40 Knots by Xerjoff, like you can't ask for much more. This one, the More Than Words, is a little bit more down on like an Oudie Rose type of profile. But yeah, so 40 Knots is definitely my favorite of the bunch. And I also love the Torinos as well. So let me see. TTF Fragrance is super happy to see you. If anybody wants to see somebody doing fragrance stuff, please go check them out. To my other fragrance buddies here, the perfumers, earlier who were commenting, super sorry that you know, it's not for everybody to do content, but I'm super happy you at least have an awesome collection. Uh-oh, whoopsie, almost lost you guys, sorry. Let me stick this back up here real quick and not show off my wife's bloomers over there. But let's see here. I love Kawa too. Wait for the cold season. Absolutely. Decant of Xerjoff Herba Pura. Heck yeah, I'm glad you got that. I hope you're liking Herba Pura. I made a belt out of watches. I was a complete waste of time. I love that Euthylage. Anybody who comes through, by the way, Euthylage is my buddy. He's got awesome jokes. Rank all of the Rasasi Hawass series. Ooh, I'd love to do that. By the way, Top Dog, I do in fact enjoy Chanel Egoist. It's not something I personally wear, but it's nice. You should really try Carolina Herrera Bad Boy. I'd love to do that. So thank you for a suggestion. Again, you guys are always welcome to make suggestions. My bike is old, buddy. Should I buy new? I would say probably, if you can, do so responsibly. Oud, Honor, and Glory as a summer fragrance. So especially, yes, that one is actually really nice. That's the white one, I believe. If it is, then that's, wait, is that the white one? I know there's a whole series of like 4. Whichever one it is, I think it's the white one of Lattafa, the Honor and Glory is what I think is that one. That one is fantastic. It's got a coconut note to it. I gave it away as a gift to my little buddy Karen, if she ever is watching this, which she's probably not, but her name, I call her Caranosaurus. My little buddy from work, Karen, she really liked that one day, so I was like, hey, here you go. So it's really nice. I wouldn't personally wear it, but it's definitely fantastic. And heck yeah, buddy, Herba Pura is awesome. With that being said, though, I want to get back to my person's comment over here. Rank all the Wasasi. Wow. Rank all of the Rasasis. So I'll do that for you guys right now. It's going to be a little tough to hold them, but I will try my best. Okay, let me see if I can sit one right there, sit one right here real fast. All right, so real quick, ranking the Rasasis for you guys. I'm going to start with this. I'm going to do, by the way, please don't be upset. This is just how I personally feel. I really don't care for most of the Rasasis anyways, but, and I'll get back to the rest of you guys in a second. John Jones, hey, thank you for being here. PDM Layton smells like a start off of, what do you call it? Geez, man. It's a start off of like Vicks Vapor Rub, but then it blends into a very medicinal, relaxed lavender with some creams and bergamots and things like that. It's pretty nice. Hi, guys. That guy's gone. Check me out. I don't know what you do, so I can't encourage people to go check you out, but if you do fragrances or something, maybe. How does Armaf Sillage smell exactly? Armaf Sillage smells very much just like the original. It's a more synthetic version of Silver Mountain Water, so it's basically like a green tea with a melon type of feel for the most part. But check out your stream. I see you have Vulcan Few. Have you tried Mango Bliss? So I ordered Mango Bliss 3 times, and it got sent. For some reason, it could not be delivered, so they kept screwing up. Where I live in my community, I'm not saying this to brag. I'm just saying me and my wife moved from where we were living into where her family lives. So now we bought a house here in what is a gated community. And in here, we have to have a P.O. box and a physical address. So most of the stuff I ordered has managed to get here, or at least to our P.O. box. For some reason, Mango Bliss, even though I ordered it from the same source, tried to get here. They rejected it somehow and then kept sending it back. It wasn't even a signing issue. I don't know what happened, so I still haven't even got to smell it yet. So if you guys have, please let me know how it is. Real quick, though, I'm going to go ahead and rate the Rasasi Hawasses. So, Hawass Black, I actually like the most, just because I really enjoy that it's like that Creed DNA, but it's actually pretty nice. To be completely honest with you, I do like it. Then I'm going to go Hawass Fire. I don't even remember what the notes are, but I still enjoy, like I said, these are not my favorites in the world, but I do enjoy them. Then Hawass Elixir. It actually, after the very harsh alcohol-y opening, is a very, very nice jump. As you know, Jean Paul Gaultier La Mal Elixir is tied as my favorite fragrance of all time. This is the perfect take on that for the most part for a cheaper price. Then Hawass Ice is fantastic. And in last place, the original Hawass. So Black, Fire, Elixir, Ice, and then the original. Please, guys, don't be angry. That's just how I personally feel. But, you know, you're more than welcome to disagree and like the Hawasses in whichever way that you personally do yourself. So, but excuse me, sorry. Thank you for asking. What do you think about Vulcan Few then? I'll tell you that in just a second. Best summer fragrance for an island vibe vacation. Well, that one's definitely easy. You can pick between one of these two guys. You've got Le Beau Le Parfum or Paradise Garden Edition. This right here, very bright, strong, dense coconut woodsy feel with that creamy like pina colada vibe. This pineapple coconut. Over here, you've got coconut water blended with aquatic notes and sandalwood. Both of these super powerful, last all day. A big bottle of this one will run you about $160 or so, and a big bottle of this boy right here, the 4.2, is $142. So if you're looking for an awesome tropical summer fragrance, can't go wrong there. If you want something more blood orange and woodsy vanilla, Eros Flame. If you want a lemon candy bomb, Eros Energy. Do you have God of Fire? Oh, wait, hold on. Let me take it back then, because you asked me, is liquid broom bottle made of glass or hard plastic? It's basically hard plastic. So Vulcan Few, and I say this a lot, I'm sorry to anybody who's heard me say this and repeat myself, to anybody who's new here, though I want to answer you and be respectful. Vulcan Few, to me, is just not, it's not my style, first of all. It's just a very basic type of fragrance. It's just a sweet, barely mango, mostly sweet ginger type of feel, mango-y ginger type of feel. It's not extremely impressive. I do not, answer John, own God of Fire. I have a friend who does. I've tested his bottle 4 times to give myself a really accurate depiction of it, because for the price of God of Fire, it's a little bit more dense and luxurious overall, because there's always something kind of missing from most dupes. It's mostly because of materials, but I will say God of Fire, like performance-wise, garbage. Just throwing it out there. The amount that they charge for God of Fire is excessively disappointing for me for what it does. I understand this. In perfumery, just because something's expensive doesn't mean it was designed by the chemist to last all day. But God of Fire has at times advertised itself from the company to be a very powerful fragrance, and the name itself makes you think this is going to be strong and dense. It isn't. It lasts roughly around 6 to 8 hours, and we're not talking like poof coming off of you, like just very decently. Doesn't bond to skin extremely well. Then again, I mean, everybody's different, but me, my friend, and another buddy, our hormones are different. We all have different skin types, and as well, it doesn't do that great for any of us. This one as well, it's pretty expensive for what it is, $50 to $70 apparently, according to, like, for me, it was $55 when I got it. It's really hard to get your hands on for most people because it's really hyped up right now, but it smells nice, okay? Don't misunderstand me that just because I don't like it as a personal taste, that it doesn't smell decent. It just smells very basic for being so hyped up, and it doesn't perform extremely, extremely well like people say it does. So I'm sorry, just throwing it out there. I know about God of War. God of War, definitely a fun game to play back in the day. I give you a SSD with PS5 games. What perfume would you give me as return? I got a PS5, but if I was to do something like that, ooh, that's a good question. I'd probably give you, in that case, maybe like Interlude Man or something like that by Amwash. And thank you, John, for being here. What's the best performing fragrance you own? All my fake fragrances barely last. So, honest to goodness, some of the absolute best performing fragrances that I have is going to be Oud Silk Mood, which is, again, in my top 5 favorite fragrances of all time. Not Oud Satin Mood. I love Oud Satin Mood, but Oud Silk Mood by Maison Francis Kirkjohn, the Extrait de Parfum. This is one of the most monstrous fragrances I've ever had in my entire life. I don't wear it a lot because I love it so much. I just want to take care of it. As well. So when you say best performing, I'm trying to encompass something that radiates as well as longevity. So something like Xerjoff Naxos lasts all day, but it definitely becomes a little bit more of an intimate fragrance after a handful of hours, whereas Oud Silk Mood literally comes off of you the entire day. As well, Xerjoff's Opera is another absolutely monstrous fragrance that lasts the entire day, really bleeds off of you. And it's also, you can get it for an excellent, excellent price. Side Effect by Initio, a very powerful boozy fragrance that goes the entire day and comes off of you very strongly. But definitely Oud Silk Mood and Baccarat Rouge 540 Extrait de Parfum are some of the, like, obviously everybody knows about them, but some of the absolute best performers that I personally have. And then I'm trying to think what else, because most of the Xerjoffs that I have, honestly, are very big monsters. And 1 Million Elixir is a really good performer. Jean-Paul Gaultier's Le Mal Elixir, super, very strong. And then Le Beau Le Parfum. These are all fragrances that are super big, but I think Oud Silk Mood might be the loudest, densest fragrance next to Xerjoff's Opera. Have you tried Roja Asala Bleu? I have not. I've actually not tried any personally Roja fragrances. I have a friend who's got some. He really enjoys them. I've never tried any myself. They're also pretty expensive. And as you can see, I'm kind of working through house for house. So, and like I said, I already kind of got a little bit of a list. Can you show that fragrance you were sent? The atomizer was crazy. I'd love to. If they aren't long-lasting unscented lotion, that's another good one, John. So definitely use unscented lotion if you want to kind of help yourself out to extend the density, depending on the person. I'd love to show you guys this one, though, Crazy Butler, one more time. So yes, this is Sensual Obsessions Eagle Star. All of their atomizers apparently work this way. If you guys missed the stream last night, or if you're new here, through this fragrance house on their website, actually, they have a build your own fragrance thing. So depending on what tier you choose, if you use tier 1, it's like $45. And then $5 shipping, depending on where you live. So like $45, and you get to choose, if you do tier 1, 6 fragrance notes out of the entire list. It's like a massive list. If you do tier 2, I'm not entirely sure. It just keeps going up. And it's $10 each tier additional. But I chose tier 1, and I got to choose my own fragrance as far as it's concerned. So I'm looking forward to that. I got to pick out the notes, and they are extract de parfum. So I'm really excited about getting this, like 33% fragrance oil. So I can't wait for that to come in a couple of weeks. But and again, if you guys didn't see it, please be more than welcome to guess or ask me what notes I picked or think what I might have done. But as well, if you want to build your own fragrance, go to Sensual, with a like scent, like smelling, Sensual Obsessions website. But I'd love to show you guys one more time. I don't want to keep wasting this fragrance because it's powerful. And Eagle Star is their take on Althea, and is honestly, literally the best take on it next to Hot Lodge's Vanilla Dunes. But yeah, look at this. Look at this atomizer. The way that it disperses is like ridiculous to me. So I love showing it off. Let me get out of here. Do they have a clone selection? They actually do. So they've got a wide variety of originals, but they also have a monstrous clone and dupe selection. So this is Althea. What I really liked, because I haven't seen too many of these, and the way that they were spot on with this one, I know their perfumer probably did a monstrously good job with this. They've actually got a Maison Francis Kirkjohn Grand Soir dupe. So I want to get my hands on that. And I'm going to do samples of a few more of their things coming up soon, and then some of their originals. So they got a long list of dupes, and then they've also got a really good list of, what in the world's happening right now? Oh, I was having a vibration in my foot, sorry. Rasasi Hawaii's good. Honey, thank you for asking. Rasasi Hawaii's is pretty decent, but not necessarily my favorite. Let me try to keep up with you guys, bro. Maybe next year I'll be coming to the U.S. I'll be alone. The most important thing in the U.S., the hotel, meals, price, are sky touching. They are very high, you guys. But you never know. You might be able to come this direction. I might get to come meet you somewhere and hang out. Best boozy fragrance. Absolutely love this style. Best boozy fragrance. I probably have to steer you towards, like I said, Grand Soir by Maison Francis Kirkjohn or Initio Side Effect. They're just really fantastic boozy fragrances to me personally. In high school, I used to melt Vaseline in fragrance, and I'm like, huh. Yeah, it definitely helps to have like something like Vaseline. Like that's a little too dense for me personally, but something like an unscented lotion definitely helps bond it to you. I'm going to check them out. Please do, King Soar. Check it out, because like I said, if you go there, you can build your own fragrance. Club de Nuit Intense is a 1 out of 10. Hey, I mean, definitely that's your personal opinion. I used to hate it myself. When I originally reviewed it, I talked a lot bad about it over time. That was about a year ago, like 9 months back. To me, I don't like the Eau de Parfum edition of Eau de Toilette all that much, but the pure Parfum edition is actually really good. But that's my personal opinion. Everybody's allowed to be different. But let me see here. What's the fragrance that was too nice that it had that wow factor? Too nice that had that wow factor. Ooh. For me personally, it's kind of a mixture of a tie between the first time that I ever smelled Jean Paul Gaultier's La Mal Elixir, Le Beau Le Parfum, and then as well, the Oud Silk Mood. I always come back to that because to me personally, it was just such an incredibly done job. But there is 2 new fragrances that I don't own, and I probably won't for a very long time because they're excessively expensive, but they really blew my mind the other day when I tried them out, and that was Maison Crivelli's Saffron Secret, and then Une Nuit Nomade, Jardin de Misfage, or Misfage, something like that. Those were some of the most like wow factor fragrances I've ever smelled in my entire life. Good morning, Diego. Thank you for being here. What are your thoughts on By the Fireplace? I actually don't really like it, Eli. So to me personally, I don't really like Maison Margiela's fragrances like Jazz Club and all that. I think they're okay. Again, it's just my opinion. If you guys differentiate, that's totally all right. We're allowed to do that. But just for me, I'm not the biggest fan on any of them because they're just not my style. That's just me. But thank you for asking. Favorite bottle design? I swear, buddy, I'll pull a 10 out of 10 baddie. Yes, you will, Yuvraj. You're going to leave here with a wife, my friend. But as far as my favorite bottle design, I was just thinking about that the other day. Excuse me. Honestly, I really love most Xerjoffs. Oh, you know what? This isn't my absolute favorite in the world. Let me see if I can show you guys this real quick. So the Empyrean and Aqua Regia edition by Xerjoff. I don't know if you guys can see this. This is one of the coolest fragrance bottles that I've ever seen in my entire life. Look at the, these are like metal caps, glass bottles. These are some of the most beautiful. This is from their Alchemy line that they did, but I actually am like insanely crazy. These are not for everybody. Just gonna go ahead and throw that out there now. Their Alchemy line, I've got the full line down there at the bottom, but I don't show it off that much because I'm saving it for reviews. But these bad boys are like excessively Middle Eastern luxury. So, oh my goodness. You've got to be a very specific kind of person to wear these because they smell so wealthy. But these are truly some of my favorite bottles that I've ever seen. The Alchemy line by Xerjoff. I think that's what they're called, either Alchemy or Astrology, something like that. But I also, other than this line, there was one other one. I do, not necessarily the bottle itself, but I do really like the embossing on the metal design here on Bodicea Victorious' Ardent. But yeah, for the most part, Xerjoff bottles are my favorite designs in and of themselves, and this one is particularly fantastic. Let's see. I think Replica line has so many good ones. I wish they're EDP. Yeah, that's the way I feel. I like the Latafa Fakar bottle. You know what? They are pretty cool. I've got all three of them. I'm not sure if there's another one, but I got three of them, and they are pretty neat. They're just not necessarily exactly my particular style. But yeah, I love Xerjoff bottles. I really like Amawash bottles, like Interlude, and this one's really fun. The Imitation Man. Really like these. So those are pretty cool. The bottle that I hate the absolute most of all time is, even though I love the fragrance, is definitely Toy Boy. Despise it and really wish they do reformulate it in a different bottle. Redbeard, he's probably working right now. I'm not sure. He's probably busy. You know, last time I went to USA, my sister home, but as you know, she disconnected. I hate that, buddy. I hate that you and your sister disconnected like that, but I hope you guys get to spend time together at some point. What are your thoughts on Dylan Blue? I think that it's an excessively basic black pepper fragrance, but it's very nice for a young man. Very good choice for you, man. Again, please take no offense, you guys. It's just my opinion. But Versace Dylan Blue is like the main Versace fragrance. I don't really care for that much, along with Blue Jeans. But if you're a younger fella and you want something strong for an eau de toilette, it's not bad. But if you want to go in a different direction and get a higher quality black pepper fragrance, the new formulation of Dolce & Gabbana's Light Blue Capri and Love, it's black pepper, fig, and patchouli. Lasts all day, and it's a beautiful fragrance for the summertime. So that's just me personally, though. But thank you for asking, Eli. I also really like your last name, Shenanigan, or your name on here. So what's my opinion on Xerjoff Renaissance and Neo? I really like Neo. It is a fantastic fragrance, but Renaissance I actually enjoy a lot. This is like a true to the core lemon, almost like mild tea water type of fragrance going on, like a lemon iced tea, but true lemon lime bergamot feel going on. It's like a flourish of all three blending together. This is like the most citrus, natural scented citrus fragrance I've ever smelled. I also love the frosting of these bottles, but I 100% got to recommend you guys get yourself a Renaissance if you're looking for something that instead of like a lemon balm like Eros or a woodsy lemon like the Club de Nuit or Creed Aventus. If you want something that's like true to the core lemon aquatic tea, definitely Renaissance is a fantastic fragrance, but it's not for everybody. It really, I cannot stress enough, it's not going to be everybody's cup of tea, to be honest with you. So, but I'm trying to find his favorite. Hold on, wait. Almost all of them are for winter. Which Azara would you pick for winter? To be honest with you, I really don't know. I'm not sure because the Zara is not really necessarily my favorite, but I guess the most wanted, I'm not sure. I actually have never really thought about it too much because I really don't go to that line, but I'd love to know what your favorite is. You come to USA, will you invite me to your home? So I will say this. I will hang out with you, but definitely anybody that I meet here on the internet until I get to meet somebody in person and then hang out. If it ever happens, if I get to hang out with you guys ever somehow in person, if you're in the region that I'm at, because I don't want to give people, not against you, Fraj, but people in general, I don't ever want to publicly talk about too much where the area I live is. Because again, it's not good to do. But if you guys are ever in the area of North Carolina, especially towards near where like out where Durham or Raleigh or Morrisville, somewhere like that is, if you're there, I'm more than happy to hang out and get to know people. But my wife, especially because of my family and kids, very specific that I get to know people a little bit more in person before I have people ever come to our home. Just throwing it out there. Thoughts on Club de Nuit Milestone? Actually, that's one of the ones I haven't tried yet. So Sillage, I've got their take on Baccarat, so the Untold, but I haven't tried Milestone just yet, and I definitely would like to because I really enjoy Milson Imperial. I've still got sample travel bottles down there. By the way, I love Most Wanted EDP Intense. That is a good choice. Real quick, I'm going to set this down and go use the bathroom just for a second, and I'll be right back if you guys want to hang out. I'm not going to stream for a whole lot longer because I do got to go do something. But I really appreciate you guys popping through. Continue to press the like button if you would like to support what I'm doing here and you want to ask more questions and hang out. A lot of times people will come through the stream, they have a good time, but they won't hit the like button. So as a YouTuber, I do have to say that. Even though I want to have a community where we hang out, I do kind of got to push you guys to like do that little thing because it helps the algorithm. It helps me continue to grow if you like to help me do that and get more fragrances. So I'll be right back, you guys, and thank you guys for being here. All right. Sorry about that, you guys. Like I said, don't know if y'all can hear me, but I had to run to the bathroom. But yeah, thank you guys. Eli, stop grazing. What happened? I love them. Thoughts on honey? Like or else. Yuvraj, you can come to America and save my place. But yeah, like I said, it's just not easy to have people come over, but zero glaze. I'm thinking of getting a bottle of Molecule 1, getting the Discovery set, see which one I like. I think that's a fantastic choice. Definitely if you guys ever get the opportunity. I don't know if y'all personally live near any niche perfume like stores, because there aren't a lot just everywhere. Here where I'm at, there's definitely a mall about an hour away where they have a store specifically dedicated to niche fragrances. And what's really cool, so if you're in the Raleigh area of North Carolina, go to Crabtree Mall. It's not the best mall in the world, but none of them really are. They have a store called La Perfumerie, and there they have events called Fragrance Swap. And what it is you bring like a couple or however many you'd like of niche fragrances that they personally don't necessarily sell. And then you and whoever all come, you guys get to like talk with each other and see if you'd like to trade. Obviously, they need to be like agreeable and on similar value planes, like full bottles. But I think that's actually a pretty neat thing to do. There's a Creed store near me. I've never been to a Creed store myself personally. I wouldn't really want to because they're not my style. But I have a Saks Fifth Avenue, and they've got like every Initio, every Creed, every Killian fragrance. They got a lot of stuff. And I really was having fun testing it because I realized, you know, Initio, for instance, who are, by the way, like sister houses to Parfums de Marly, which I got back here, they are something that's a hit or miss for me for sure. Because I like Paragon. I enjoy the original Oud for Greatness. I like its side effect, Atomic Rose, Blessed Baraka, but they have a handful of them that, as usual, wasn't necessarily for me. What's a fragrance that you blind bought and hated, but what was a great one online? So a fragrance that I blind bought and hated, excuse me, there's very few that I ever actually end up truly dislike. Oh, you know what? Actually, that's a simple one. Please don't be angry, as usual. Just gotta throw this out there. But I really, really don't like Angel Share by Killian, and I hate Kismet Magic. I say this, but I want to go ahead and be clear. If you like Angel Share by Killian, you will love this one because it's even more sweet and syrupy, and it is like the perfect overall dupe of that kind of DNA if you're going for the Angel Share by Killian. But I really don't like this one whatsoever because I already am not a fan of Angel Share because it's just too sweet and syrupy for me. And you got to understand, if you've never smelled this before, I like the apple brandy scent. I like Black Phantom, Midnight Moonlight in Heaven. But you already know one of my favorite fragrances of all time is Xerjoff's Naxos, or even sweeter is La Male Elixir. So you know I like sweet fragrances. It's not that. But honest to God, Angel Share is just way too syrupy, honey, syrupy, sugary, date syrup sweet. And it's just not for me. So super strong, lasts all day. But when I received it, I had not smelled it before at that point. And I honestly just really did not like it. You know what? There's one more. and that's this one, Rayhan's Crimson. When I got this one, let me make sure I'm checking. What's a fragrance? I already read that one. Initio is a solid house. To me, Initios perform much better than PDMs. That is true. Initios perform quite a bit better overall than Parfums de Marly's. Their longevity and then sillage. Again, I enjoy Parfums de Marly's, but I never want to grab them anymore. I fell in love with them at the beginning of my fragrance journey and when I started building my collection. And again, this is just me, not to be elitist. I'm just not the hugest fan of them anymore. But with that being said, Initios are super bombs. Smelled it for the first time of the weekend. Smells like apple pie. For me, like I said, it's just a very majorly like Ojon by Parfums de Marly or Lattaf's Hamra or Kawa. Those are more apple pie for me. Whereas it's just way too sweet, sugary sweet for me, and I just don't like it. It's too syrupy. But that's just me. Again, everybody's a little different. What's a fragrance that has a powder and lavender note, but is still masculine? Ooh, that's a very good question, and I'll show you in just a second. Do you sell Mr. Cleaner? I do not. If you're joking because I've got a shaved head, that is funny. But if you're asking if I actually sell something, no, I do not. But this one right here, Rayhan's Crimson, it's supposed to be around, what is it, Centaurus or Centurion or whatever it is by Creed. But this is just like cinnamon bubblegum or Red Hots, and it's gross to me as a fragrance. This was getting like super hyped on those TikTokers and stuff. And I was like, okay, cool, I'll check it out. Because I did like Rayhan's Elixir. It's a little more too Tonka Bean for me than, as you know, my love for the original. But when I got my nose on this, I was like, definitely not my style. But yeah, the only one I've ever really hated was the other one that I mentioned before, just because it just really wasn't my style. With that being said, as far as a powdery lavender note, but still masculine, that's a little tricky because I will say, even though it's not necessarily a true to the core lavender feel, the rosy medicinal lavender vibe that you get out of Oud Silk Mood, the extracted parfum, still has a very strong, nice masculine feel to it. And again, it's one of my favorite fragrances of all time. It is basically pretty much the strongest fragrance that I have. But Oud Satin, this is unlike the other one, a $30 fragrance. Oud Satin by Ministry of Oud. That's not actually who it's by. I think it's Fragrance World or something like that. It's on there somewhere. But this bad boy is definitely a very powdery, rosy oud, lavender type of fragrance. And I can tell you 100%, you got to get your nose on this if you get a chance, because it's only $30. And it is, well, for a $30 fragrance, does last all day. And then to my buddy Carlos Rodriguez, thank you for popping by. I wish I could give you one for free, but I definitely can't do that. There's many freshies who are pumped with ambrosite and smell heavy. What's the most beautiful, natural smelling fragrance that you have? And as well, my buddy here, King Sword Prada Lomas Powdery Violet too. Absolutely. Real quick, C. McDaniel, top 3 summer fragrances. Already at the top, going to be over here. Jean Paul Gaultier's Le Beau Le Parfum, Le Beau Paradise Garden, and then Dolce & Gabbana Eau Intense. I'm also going to give you Light Blue Eau Intense, Dolce & Gabbana Light Blue Capri and Love. Versace Eros Parfum, Eros Flame, Eros Energy. There's a handful more, but I'm going to stop right there just because I want to overload you. But if you want me to repeat, I can. Sorry that I talked too fast. Prada Loma is a good one. As far as some of my best favorite natural smells, ooh, just very true to the core, natural feel coming off of a fragrance. I will say that, honestly, a lot of times I'll steer people, because not too many fragrances have like a purely natural smell. I'll steer people kind of sort of towards Renaissance because it is very, like I said, lemon tea, and it just smells extremely beautiful and more pure if you want something that smells a little true to a natural type of feel to it. But as well, no, I'm going to leave it at that, because for the most part, honestly, when you say natural, I want to give you an idea of something that's truly to a natural feel. Instead, most of the best fragrances honestly do have a nice blend of naturals and synthetics. So, going to leave it there. Eros Energy smells synthetic. Personally, gives me a headache. It smells like lemon bleach to me. Well, hey, you know what? Again, everybody's nose is a little different, and there's nothing wrong with that. For me, it's definitely, if you want a nice sweet candy type of lemon scent, it does dry down and becomes more like lemony woods. But it definitely can be a little too overpowering for a lot of folks. So just throwing that out there. Good morning, Kelsey. Thank you for popping through. It's so funny because I was literally about to end my stream and you end up making it here when that's about to happen every time. But I'm very happy to have you here, buddy. So I'm going to jump off here. But anybody who's popped by, I went to Sephora the other day and saw some men's fragrances, and it was all black bottle, said milk. I think you're talking about commodity milk. So I do know what you're talking about. I don't have it. They have a handful of different variations of it too. It's technically women's fragrances, but they smell pretty decent. And yes, you did make it in time for the prayer. Anybody who doesn't know, I never try to be pushy about this kind of stuff because my channel is about fragrances, but it's also about life, about connecting to you guys and having a community as well. I believe in God, not here to debate, not here to make fun of nobody. Again, as usual, I always restate this because I want people to know whether you're Muslim, Jewish, whether you're Buddhist, Hindu. I've read all the religious texts multiple times, not to debate people, but to understand where people are coming from. But I personally have ended up becoming a Christian in my life. So again, not here to argue, not here to debate. I'm just saying it to say you will see me talking about God and praying at the end of my streams. And I don't do that to push things, just to welcome you. So if you want to get out of here while I do that, you're more than welcome to. If you'd like to just ignore the prayer and just ask questions or think of something you'd like to type, you're more than welcome to do so at the end of my stream here that I'm about to do. But I am about to start doing that ending prayer, and everybody is welcome, no matter who you are or where you're from. By the way, real quick, the best Guerlain, I like the L'Homme Ideal or Ideal Extreme. Sorry if I'm not pronouncing that properly. But I also really, really love Guerlain's, or Guerlain, however you say it, Habit Rouge. Definitely one of my absolute favorites. So thank you guys so much for popping through here. Please, like I said, I'm about to do my little closing out prayer, but you are more than welcome to ask questions if you would like to. So here we go. Dear Heavenly Father, thank you so much for this beautiful day that I got to have as another day on this earth, as well as the blessing of getting to hang out and talk about perfumery with all these awesome people. Thank you, God, for just letting me have these conversations because it means so much to me. It's so enriching. I hope that in some way, shape, or form, it's enriching for the people who end up watching. I love that we get to talk about the beautiful art that is perfumery and music and whatever else comes on. Father, thank you for just blessing me with these abilities and these times to get to speak to people. It means the world to me. I pray that you watch over everyone here, no matter who they are, where they're from, what they believe in. I just pray that they end up having the peace of you in their heart, that they end up having just peace in their life as a whole and abundantly. We all go through struggles. We all go through trials. But every single person who's here, whatever they believe, whatever they feel, at the end of the day, they have purposes, multiple purposes. And I always pray for them to understand that you didn't just make them to live one note in life, but like fragrances, you made them to have multiple layers. And whether we're failing in one department, we're still succeeding at least somewhere, even if it's just continuing to exist. So God, I thank you for all these beautiful people. I thank you for your love, your grace, and your mercy, your endless continuation of this beautiful world. And I love you with all my heart. Thank you for my wife, my family. So I just pray you bless these people watching. Again, no matter who they are, where they're from, I pray for them. I love them. I know you do too. And I hope they just come to know you in the fullness of the beauty of this world. And just know that they have meaning. So in the name of Jesus, I lift us all up to you and welcome everybody here. And in your name, God bless y'all. Amen. So thank you guys for stopping through. Really appreciate y'all so much. Again, no offense to anyone of any different walk of life or belief. And again, I'm not here to argue or make fun of anybody. So I appreciate y'all. One more time, just want to throw out some love to these dudes over here at Sensual Obsessions because they're awesome. They did a fantastic job at what they do. But as well, I was super happy that I got to put in my own little order and make my own fragrance. And you can do the same thing if you would like to do so. And just go to their website, sensualobsessions.com, or go find them on the internet. So before I go and end the stream, because I got to go pick some stuff up from the mail from my wife's business, and then I got some other things I got to do myself. So before I go, you guys are more than welcome to ask one more question if you have any. And I will definitely do that, Kelsey. Thank you for popping through. But let me just make sure you guys have anything else you'd like to ask before I hop off of here. It's been really nice to hang out with y'all. As always, I appreciate it. I'm trying to get everything situated. I got so much of a mess up here that I haven't even, like when we first moved in, to be honest with you, I kind of just went whoop and threw stuff up there. But yeah, any other questions you guys have before we go, you're more than welcome to do so. But like I said, the title of these videos is never meant to be like a gotcha. I mean, I guess it kind of is to help get conversations going, but it's not meant to be anything disrespectful. What notes did you ask for? Any boss fragrances? I do not have any boss fragrances. They're just not necessarily my style. But the notes that I got in my personal fragrances being made by those guys is rose, because I love rose. So I got rose and tuberose at the top. So rose absolute and a more garden style like tuberose. And then like a green apple feel, but it's not more like a candy. It's more like a legitimate, bright, fresh green apple feel, like you just cut an apple from Sensual Obsessions. That's correct. So rose, tuberose, green apple, a sugar accord. So not like honey or like vanilla, or like a true like salt, like sugared, like almonds type of feel, like putting sugar on something, that type of feel, like a sugar accord over that. And then as well, ambroxan and benzoine, and iris and benzoine. So I asked for like an extra one, but I told him he can take it off. I didn't mean to do that. I didn't count, because again, if you do tier 1, you pick 6, so it's $45 overall with the shipping and everything. So I'm very excited to have my own fragrance. Like I said, I love rose, I love sweetness with a little apple. So you also, when you do it, which I didn't, so I had to email him and tell him, when you do it, you also have to put in your percentages. So that's a big issue. I didn't think to do that, but it will probably smell like Louis Vuitton Rose one, but sweeter. I forgot what it's called. I hope so. I definitely want it to be, like I said, it's an extrait de parfum, high concentration, around 33% fragrance oil. So I'm very excited to see how it turns out overall. But yeah, rose, tube rose, green apple, sugar accord, and then iris. Because I love iris in those beautiful fragrances like La Male de Parfum, and then Reflections by Amouage. So just want to throw this out there in case you guys are new here and haven't done this yet. Please do hit the like button before I go as well. Also, please, when you got the time, even though I'm not going to be around anymore here in a second, go check out my actual review videos, because I will say this, and I mean this with no disrespect, but a lot of you guys who've been appreciating my actual streams haven't been going and watching my actual review videos where I just talk about like a fragrance at a time. Ishmael, it has been a while. Thank you for being here, buddy. I literally just prayed and was about to hop off. For me, Le Beau de Parfum is the better way to go. Gimme 333. Definitely Le Beau de Parfum. But yeah, just finishing off by saying this real quick. Like I said, comparison to like how many people drop through and check out these videos during the live streams and stuff. It's very, very seemingly rare from my algorithms that I can see in my analytics that anybody's actually going and watching my review videos. So those help me way more than even what I'm doing here. And again, I'm really working at trying to start getting paid for doing this, because I love perfumery. I love hanging out with you guys. But I am, now that, things are happening with my grandma and stuff, I am about to start going back to my job, even though I've had these days off to hang out with you guys. So it's about to get where I can only do this Wednesdays and Sundays. So with that being said, hey, what's up, buddy? With that being said, if you guys don't go actually watch the reviews that I do and like give them good watch time and comment, my channel continues to like deteriorate as far as that's concerning. And I would really like to be able to get paid for doing this so I can do it more often and so forth. My neighbor got raided today. Well, that is horrible, Cody. I'm sure that's probably I don't know if that's like a troll thing or something like that, but if that is the case, if he was really doing that, then I hope he ends up, paying for what he's doing to the community. What about Dolce Devotion? It's all right. To be honest with you, it's not my style. Oh, well, the man's one. But I will say the female one my wife has, it is really awesome. But I don't like the man's edition personally, just myself. But that's just me. But yeah, as far as that dude who just commented that, yeah, thank you, King Sword, for getting out of there. We don't really want that kind of stuff. I'm all for fun and games and for jokes and stuff, as well. If somebody ever wants to come through and like troll and make fun of me personally, like my looks, because again, we all know I look like when Shrek became a human being. But as far as talking about like drugs and stuff like that, that's not okay here in the streams. But anyway, with that being said, has anybody got any more questions before I hop off here? And again, God bless each and every one of you guys. It's been fantastic hanging out and talking. Please, if you want to support, go watch the other videos. I hate to sound like a douche, but I'm a YouTuber after all. And it is kind of something that we have to be a little bit of a salesman for ourselves. What? No, you don't. Well, I appreciate that, John. I appreciate you saying that. I had 12 samples of a very good perfume. Uh-oh. Heck yeah, that's what I'm talking about. By the way, Mr. Perfume, I like that. I'll take that name. Nothing wrong with that. Well, just throwing this out there. Let's see if before we go, we can get this to 30 likes. We're at 29 right now. It'd be really, really neat if we can get it, because I keep saying this a lot, but I don't. It's just a personal problem. I don't really like odd numbers that much. So if you guys could, just one more person, just hit that like button. And today, somehow something good's going to happen to you. I can't say that for sure, but you never know. But anyway, yeah, one more situation here, and then we're going to drop off. But I will tell you guys my personal favorite fragrances, in case anybody is interested. Jean Paul Gaultier's La Male de Parfum and Elixir. I keep them tied as number 1. In next place, Naxos by Xerjoff. Next, Oud Silk Mood, the Extrait de Parfum by Maison Francis Kirkjohn. Next, 40 Knots by Xerjoff. What does that say? Any Hugo Boss fragrances? Diego, I do not have any Hugo Boss fragrances. I think they're okay. I will say this. On my list of things to acquire is definitely Boss Bottled, the Absolute, because I did smell it, and I think, you know what, this might be one of the few times that I would like to add a Hugo Boss fragrance to my collection. But for the most part, for a while, they haven't necessarily really spoken to me all that much. That's just me personally, but I am being honest. They're not really my style. Hey, we forgot the delivery. Uh-oh. Okay, yes. So there definitely is something that I'm supposed to do. So I really appreciate you guys coming through here. And I literally thought that said hugs, boss. I'll see you guys later, and I hope you have a great day, and God bless you guys.